Did you know that bigger and better is not always better for you? Let's talk about the sweet spot in your career. Hey guys, welcome to Travel Feels. My name is Maddie. I'm a DP and a filmmaker here in Toronto, Canada. Last year, I really started to think about my career as a filmmaker. What do I really want to be doing? What kind of projects? How much money do I want to be making? Do I want to be a director or a DP or editing or a colorist? What do I want to be doing with my filmmaking career? So I narrowed it down to DPing, or being the director of photography, which is basically just being in charge of the camera department on a shoot. But even with DPing, do I want to be a commercial DP? Do I want to be a documentary DP? Do I want to be shooting feature films? What do I want to be doing as a DP? As I was thinking about all this, I realized that there's a sweet spot that's just right for you, where you're being creatively fulfilled, you're happy, you're working hard but not too hard, you're not too stressed but you're still being challenged enough. There's a sweet spot in your career. As your career advances and your projects get bigger and you're on bigger shoots, the pressure starts to grow. Maybe there's more stress. Maybe you don't have as much creative say now because you have to answer to all these different clients and different agencies. Maybe you're spending more time away from home, which is starting to affect your life. Or maybe you just don't like being a part of that kind of project. And it can go the other way too, where if the projects are too small, then maybe the budgets are way too low and you just can't get done what you want to do. And maybe the financial pressures are just growing because you're not making enough money. So there's a sweet spot somewhere in there that fits just right for you. Not everybody is meant to be a Hollywood director or DPing huge feature documentaries or making TV shows or even a travel filmmaker. And if you were put into some of those positions, maybe you would actually hate it. You wouldn't like it at all. But the tough thing is that society tells us that bigger is better. The higher you get up on that chain, the better it is for you. The more money you're making, the bigger the project, the better it is. But that's actually not true. The sweet spot is where you're going to be most happy and content, and all the different areas of your life are going to be in balance. And the sweet spot changes throughout your career and different seasons and different phases of your life. You might be wanting to travel and do all the travel films now when you're young, but then maybe later on you just want to be at home working on commercial projects or filming documentaries or whatever it is. So the sweet spot changes throughout your career. So don't think that now that I have this sweet spot, I'm just going to stay here for the rest of my life. It's probably going to change multiple times throughout your career. You have at least 30 to 40 years that you're going to be working, so don't be so worried about climbing that ladder and getting to the top and being a part of the biggest projects there are and shooting Hollywood films or whatever it is. There's so much time to work, so take your time, find your sweet spot, find out where you actually enjoy your work most and enjoy life the most. So how do you find your sweet spot? Well, first off, I think you need to just try different things. You're never gonna know if you like, for example, directing unless you actually try it. Or you don't know if you like camera operating on a commercial shoot unless you've tried it. So try all sorts of things. Try editing, try color grading, try sound mixing or sound recording. There's so many different areas of filmmaking that you can be a part of. Maybe actually it's producing, or maybe you want to be a creative director instead of an actual filmmaker. There are so many different areas, so try different things out and see if you like them, because that's the only way you'll find out which direction you should be going and where your sweet spot is. Number 2, I would say make some goals. This really helps you to figure out where your career is going and where you actually want it to be. Sometimes we're so busy with just doing and making that we actually forget to think about where we want our career to be going. So goal setting is a good way of having some shorter term goals and some long term goals about what you want to be doing and where you want to take your career. And I'm always making new goals because that sweet spot is changing, or I'm starting to realize that something that I thought was my sweet spot actually isn't my sweet spot, so I'm gonna readjust and make some new goals. So think about where you are right now and where you want your career to go, and set some goals so that you can get to those sweet spots. And number 3, just evaluate those experiences and goals. Once you've experienced something new, did you like it? Was it fun or just crazy stressful for you? Or did you find creative fulfillment in that? Or with goals, once you achieved that goal, did it bring you any joy? Did it bring you any happiness? Does it make you feel like your life is in balance now? Or are you just crazy stressed and just hating your life right now? So take the time to evaluate whether those experiences and those goals, once you reach them, were good things or not for you. That will give you an indication of where your sweet spot is. And when I'm thinking about my sweet spot, what I'm really trying to balance out is time, money, creativity, and stress. So for example, some projects take up a lot of time, but they also pay really well. But maybe it's also very stressful. Or some projects might have really little pay, but the stress is really low and you really get to flex your creative muscles. So every project and every position on a film shoot is different for you. So you have to figure out where those 4 things balance out for you. So you have enough free time, you're making enough money for you, there isn't too much stress for you, and you're still getting creative fulfillment out of those projects. I think that's a really good way of looking at it, and usually you have to sacrifice at least one of those areas on every project. It's really rare that you get all 4 way up there. Usually it's 2 up and 2 down, or 3 up and 1 down. But if you're noticing that it's taking up a lot of time, it's super stressful, and there's not very much pay, but you're getting some creativity out of it, well, maybe that's not worth it then, that you're only really fulfilling one area. So this is a really good way of gauging whether you want to be a part of a project or not. So when somebody emails you or asks you to be a part of this music video or this travel film or whatever it is, you can evaluate using these 4 things whether it's worth it for you. And these 4 areas are going to be different for everybody. Some people value free time more than money. Some people really care about the creative side and are okay with stress. So all 4 of these will be different for everybody, and that really dictates where your sweet spot is going to be. So guys, don't get hung up on climbing that ladder. Wherever you are in your filmmaking career, be okay with that, but start thinking about where your sweet spot might be. What do you enjoy doing the most? What are those areas that you just wish you could always be doing that one thing? And start directing your career towards that way. And then readjust as you start realizing where your actual sweet spot is. Maybe it's not there and you start readjusting to a different area. And that's okay, and that's gonna keep changing throughout your career. So remember, money isn't everything, and being part of huge productions isn't necessarily the best thing for you. For example, last year as I was shooting different commercials and I was really aiming to do high-end commercials as a DP, I started to realize that I actually don't really care about the commercials as much as I thought I would. I had this dream of, if I got to shoot for Nike or one of these big companies, it would just be insane. And then when I got to do those projects, it actually wasn't that fulfilling in the end. So I started to adjust my goals and adjust where I want to take my filmmaking career, and really trying to get to that sweet spot in my career right now. So that's it for today, guys. I hope you learned something. I hope this inspires you and motivates you to keep going. But don't take on that pressure of just trying to get to the top the whole time, because that actually might not be the best place for you. Guys, enjoy the filmmaking process and go get some of those travel feels.